Have you ever paused for a moment, looked at your life today, and wondered, am I truly living the best life possible in my golden years? Maybe you think you are. Maybe you believe that slowing down, accepting a few aches and pains, and letting life become quieter is just part of the natural process of aging. But what if I told you that some things you're doing every single day, things you might not even realize, are slowly, silently stealing your health, your happiness, and even your independence? I have spent over 3 decades studying the science of aging, walking side by side with thousands of patients through their later years. And I can tell you without a doubt, how you age is not simply a matter of luck or genetics. It is shaped moment by moment by the choices you make, the habits you keep, and the mindset you carry into each new day. Some habits are obvious. Others are much more deceptive, hidden deep within our daily routines, quietly pulling us away from the vibrant, fulfilling life we could still be living. Today, I'm here not just as a doctor, but as someone who truly cares about your future. I want to shine a light on the 5 most damaging mistakes I see seniors make over and over again, mistakes that rob years from your life and life from your years. And more importantly, I want to show you how to break free. If you stay with me through this video, I promise you will come away not only with knowledge, but with real, practical steps you can start taking today to reclaim your energy, your joy, your health, and your hope, no matter your age. Because growing older doesn't mean fading away. It means stepping into a new chapter, wiser, stronger, and more alive than ever before. But only if you choose it. Before we begin, I want to ask something very simple of you. If you find value in this message, if you believe your health and happiness are worth fighting for, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support not only fuels this work, but could also bring these critical lessons to someone else who desperately needs them. And if you know a friend or loved one who might benefit, please share this video with them too. Together, we can build a community where growing older means growing better, stronger in body, richer in spirit, and more connected to the people and dreams that give life its deepest meaning. Are you ready to discover the simple yet powerful changes that can transform your senior years from a slow decline into a beautiful, thriving journey? Then let's dive in, because the best is still ahead, if you dare to claim it. Number 1, skipping physical activity. The silent killer of independence. Of all the habits that silently sabotage our health as we age, the neglect of physical activity is perhaps the most dangerous and the most heartbreaking to witness. You see, movement is not just about maintaining a certain number on the scale or fitting into a favorite pair of jeans. It is about preserving the very thing that defines a full, independent life. Your ability to move freely, to take care of yourself, to participate fully in the world around you. I have lost count of how many patients have sat in my office over the years, their faces etched with sadness, telling me stories that all sound painfully similar. I used to be able to get around just fine. I thought missing a few walks wouldn't matter. I didn't realize how fast my strength would disappear. And by the time they realize it, the decline has already taken hold. Muscles that once carried them easily through the day have weakened. Joints have stiffened. Balance has eroded. Suddenly, tasks that were once effortless, walking to the mailbox, carrying groceries, getting out of a chair, become daunting challenges. The world shrinks, day by day, until even stepping outside feels overwhelming. It does not happen overnight. It happens quietly, stealthily, while we tell ourselves, I'll start moving more tomorrow, or I deserve a little rest today. But here's the hard truth. Every day spent inactive is a day that chips away at your future freedom. Research has shown that adults over the age of 65 who live a sedentary lifestyle have a 30% higher risk of losing their ability to perform basic activities of daily living, bathing, dressing, eating, within just a few years. Even worse, inactivity increases the risk of falls dramatically. And falls are not just accidents. They're often catastrophic turning points. One bad fall can lead to hip fractures, hospital stays, loss of independence, permanent move to assisted living or nursing homes. I remember one case vividly. Mr. Lawson, a retired firefighter in his early 70s, came to me after a serious fall that left him with a fractured pelvis. Just a year before, he had been hiking local trails, full of strength and spirit, but a gradual decrease in daily movement. Blaming knee pain, bad weather, low energy led to muscle weakness he did not even notice. That fall took more than his mobility. It stole his confidence, his zest for life. Even after physical therapy, he never quite regained the full independence he once took for granted. And the saddest part? It could have been prevented. With just a few minutes of movement each day. You do not have to become an athlete to protect your health. You do not have to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Simple, consistent movement works miracles. A 10-minute walk around the block, gentle stretching each morning, light resistance training using just your body weight or simple bands, chair exercises if standing is difficult. Every little bit matters. Think of your body as a garden. If you water it daily, nourish it with sunshine and care, it flourishes. But neglect it, even slightly and slowly, quietly it begins to wither. The same is true for your muscles, your bones, your heart, and even your mind. Scientific studies consistently show that seniors who engage in regular moderate exercise enjoy 40% lower risk of heart disease, 35% lower risk of cognitive decline, 50% lower risk of major mobility disability. Exercise does not just add years to your life, it adds life to your years. One of the biggest barriers I see among my patients is the belief that exercise is just another chore on an endless to-do list. It feels heavy, burdensome, and somehow disconnected from real life. But what if you shifted the way you saw it? What if movement became not a punishment or an obligation, but an act of profound self-respect? A daily commitment to your future self? When you lace up your shoes and step outside, even for just 10 minutes, you are planting seeds of strength, resilience, and freedom that will blossom months and years from now. You are telling your future self, I care about you. I want you to dance at your grandchild's wedding. I want you to enjoy morning walks without fear. I want you to keep your dignity, your independence, and your joy. That is what movement really is. It is not about how fast you go or how far. It is about keeping your body and spirit alive. Start where you are. Maybe you have not exercised in months. Maybe pain or illness has kept you sidelined. Maybe you are afraid it is too late. Let me be clear. It is never too late to begin again. Start small. Start today. Even if all you can manage is standing up from a chair 10 times in a row or stretching your arms overhead. Success is not measured by speed or distance. It is measured by consistency, by the courage to keep showing up for yourself. Over time, those tiny steps compound into strength you can feel. And more importantly, they protect the life you have worked so hard to build. Coming up, we will tackle another silent threat to your health that might surprise you. And it is not about diet or exercise or sleep. It is about something even more fundamental, the human need for connection. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn could quite literally save your life. Number 2, avoiding social interactions. Isolation is as deadly as smoking. If I asked you to list the greatest threats to your health as you age, what would you say? Most people immediately think of heart disease, cancer, diabetes. Some may mention smoking or poor diet, but almost no one says loneliness. And yet, based on decades of medical research and my own experience treating patients, chronic isolation is every bit as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It is a silent epidemic, creeping into lives quietly, unnoticed, until it begins to erode not just your happiness, but your very health. I have seen it time and time again. The story is heartbreakingly familiar. A vibrant individual retires. A beloved spouse passes away. Adult children move far away, busy with their own lives. Friendships slowly fade. Social outings become rare. And without even realizing it, they slip into isolation. At first, it feels like harmless solitude. They enjoy the quiet, the freedom to set their own schedule. But slowly, something changes. The phone rings less often. The invitations stop coming. And then the days grow longer, emptier, lonelier. And that loneliness exacts a brutal price. The deadly effects of isolation. Medical studies have shown that prolonged social isolation increases the risk of heart disease by 29%, stroke by 32%, dementia by 50%, Premature death by a staggering 26%. It weakens your immune system. It raises inflammation in the body, a known contributor to nearly every major chronic disease. It accelerates cognitive decline, making memory loss and confusion more likely. It even alters gene expression in ways that harm your health at the cellular level. Isolation is not simply a matter of feeling sad or bored. It is a physical assault on your body, as real, measurable, and dangerous as smoking or obesity. I once cared for a woman named Mrs. Adler. She had been an active community volunteer for decades. But after her husband died, she gradually withdrew, first from her volunteer work, then from her friends, and finally from her church group. When I first met her, she told me she was fine, but her eyes betrayed a profound loneliness. Over the next 2 years, her health declined rapidly. She developed high blood pressure, then diabetes, then depression, not because of poor diet or inactivity, but because she was alone. And the saddest part? It was entirely preventable. Why social connection matters so much. You were not designed to live in isolation. From the time you were born, your brain and body have been shaped by connection, by touch, conversation, laughter, shared experiences. Social interaction does not just make life more enjoyable. It literally strengthens your immune system, cardiovascular health, cognitive resilience, emotional stability. When you laugh with a friend, your body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that lowers blood pressure and reduces stress. When you engage in deep, meaningful conversation, your brain forms new neural connections, keeping your mind sharp. When you feel seen, heard, and valued, your spirit flourishes. Without connection, we wither. With it, we thrive. One of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves is, "I'm fine. I don't want to bother anyone. I'm too tired to go out. I'm used to being alone." But behind these words often lies fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being a burden. Fear that it is too late to rebuild social ties. I want to tell you now, with all the authority and compassion I have as a doctor and a fellow human being, it is never too late to reconnect. It does not matter if you are 60, 70, 80, or beyond. The heart never loses its need for friendship, laughter, shared memories. And there are people out there right now who would be richer for knowing you. If you have been isolated, the idea of getting back out there can feel overwhelming, but it does not have to be. Start small. Call an old friend. Even if it has been years, you will be surprised how easily conversations can pick up again. Join a local group, whether it's a book club, walking group, or art class. Shared activities make it easier to form new connections. Volunteer. Giving your time not only helps others, it fills your own heart with purpose and belonging. Attend community events. Check your local library, senior center, or church for gatherings that interest you. Simply smile and greet neighbors. Connection often begins with a single word: hello. If stepping outside feels too big at first, start with virtual options, online classes, video calls, even simple emails. The important thing is to act, to take that first courageous step toward another human being. I think often of Mr. Davis, a widower who spent nearly 5 years living in near total isolation after his wife passed away. When he finally joined a local community gardening group, at the gentle urging of his daughter, his life transformed. He found new friends, a renewed sense of purpose, and a daily reason to get out of bed. Today, at age 83, he says he feels younger and more alive than he did at 65. Not because he changed his diet, not because he started a rigorous exercise program, but because he reconnected with life. You do not have to face aging alone. You do not have to disappear quietly from the world. You still have so much to offer: wisdom, kindness, stories, laughter. And there are people who need exactly what you have to give. So please, for your health, your happiness, and your future, reach out, reconnect, reclaim your place in the world. Your heart was made to love and be loved at every age. In the next part of this video, we will explore another often overlooked mistake that can quietly sabotage your health and well-being: the hidden dangers of poor sleep habits. Stay with me, because what you learn next could change the way you sleep and live forever. Number 3, Ignoring sleep hygiene, sacrificing sleep, sacrificing life. There is a quiet tragedy playing out every night in homes across the world. It does not make headlines. It is not something most people talk about at lunch or with their doctors, but it is silently stealing years of life, eroding health, and extinguishing vitality. That tragedy is a neglect of sleep. In my decades of practice, if there is one common thread I see across almost every serious health decline in older adults, it is poor sleep. Sleep is not simply a way to pass the night. It is your body's most powerful healing mechanism, a biological necessity as critical as oxygen or water. When you sacrifice sleep, you are not just feeling a little groggy the next day. You are sacrificing your memory, your mood, your metabolism, your immunity, and ultimately your lifespan. And yet, most seniors I meet have quietly surrendered to bad sleep, convinced it is simply a part of getting older. They say, "I guess I just don't sleep well anymore. It's normal at my age. Nothing I do seems to help." But here's the truth. Poor sleep is not inevitable. It is often a result of neglecting simple, powerful habits. Habits that can be reclaimed at any age to restore the deep, healing rest your body so desperately craves. Let's be clear about what is at stake. Chronic poor sleep increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes by 48%, diabetes by 58%, depression by 60%, cognitive decline and dementia by up to 70%. When you are sleep deprived, your body remains trapped in a state of chronic low-level stress. Blood pressure stays high. Blood sugar levels become unstable. Inflammation spreads quietly through your tissues. Your brain, deprived of critical nightly repair time, struggles to form new memories, regulate emotions, or make clear decisions. Sleep is not a passive process. It is an active vital restoration, a nightly service call for every organ in your body. Without it, systems begin to break down. I think often of Mr. and Mrs. Holloway, a married couple who were both in their early 70s when I first met them. Mr. Holloway was vibrant, energetic, mentally sharp. Mrs. Holloway, by contrast, was constantly fatigued, forgetful, and emotionally fragile. At first glance, it seemed as though she was simply aging faster, but a deeper look revealed the difference. Mr. Holloway slept soundly 7 to 8 hours every night. Mrs. Holloway struggled with fragmented, restless sleep, often getting no more than 4 to 5 hours. Over time, that sleep deprivation had worn down her resilience, physically, mentally, and emotionally. When we worked together to restore her sleep, adjusting her routines, eliminating late-night screen exposure, treating undiagnosed sleep apnea, the transformation was breathtaking. Within months, her energy returned, her memory sharpened, her depression lifted. She laughed more, she lived more, and all of it began by reclaiming the sacred power of sleep. What is sleep hygiene, really? Sleep hygiene sounds clinical, but it simply means creating conditions that allow your body and mind to fall into deep, natural rest. It is about treating sleep not as an afterthought, but as a non-negotiable pillar of health. Here is what real sleep hygiene looks like. Consistent sleep and wake times. Go to bed and rise at the same time every day, even on weekends. Your body craves rhythm. Create a pre-sleep ritual. Gentle stretching, light reading, a warm bath, calming music. Signal to your brain that it's time to unwind. Guard your sleep environment. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Remove all electronic devices. Reserve the bed for sleep and intimacy, not television, not phones, not stress. Respect the power of light. Get bright, natural light exposure during the day. Avoid bright screens at least 2 hours before bed. Light is your body's clock, and you must use it wisely. Be careful with food and stimulants. No heavy meals, caffeine, or alcohol close to bedtime. Each of these disrupts your body's ability to fall into deep, restorative sleep. Many seniors shrug off sleep issues with excuses. I'm just getting old. I've always been a night owl. I don't have time for a bedtime routine. But let me ask you this. If you knew that improving your sleep could add 5, 10, even 15 more years of vibrant, independent life, would it not be worth the effort? Because that is precisely what the research shows. A major study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who consistently got 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep were 40% less likely to develop major disabilities compared to those who were sleep deprived. Sleep is not optional, it is foundational. We often think of sleep as passive, as something we have no control over. But the reality is, sleep is a choice you actively build every day through your habits. Each decision you make, when you turn off the TV, when you put away your phone, when you step outside for morning sunlight, is a vote for either deep, healing rest or restless, damaging nights. And it is never too late to start voting for yourself. You deserve to sleep well. You deserve to heal overnight. You deserve to wake up each morning feeling energized, hopeful, and ready to live. When you were a child, sleep came naturally. It was sacred, protected by parents, cherished by the body. But somewhere along the road of adulthood, you began to sacrifice it, to trade it for work, for stress, for worry. Now, in these precious years of your life, it is time to reclaim it, not as a luxury, not as an indulgence, but as a sacred, essential act of self-care. Restore your sleep, and you restore your life. In the next part of our journey together, we will dive into another hidden danger that many seniors overlook. One that can silently steal your mental clarity and rob you of the joy of discovery. Stay with me, because learning how to protect your brain is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Number 4, neglecting brain health, starving the mind, starving the soul. Among all the organs in your body, none defines your experience of life more profoundly than your brain. It is your memory, your personality, your creativity, your dreams. It holds the stories of your youth, the wisdom of your years, the hopes you still carry forward. And yet, despite its extraordinary importance, the brain is often the most neglected organ in aging. While people watch their cholesterol, monitor their blood pressure, and exercise their muscles, they too often leave their minds to wither quietly, unused, unstimulated, starved. But here's the truth. Just like your heart or your muscles, your brain needs exercise, nourishment, and care to stay sharp, resilient, and alive. When you neglect your brain, you are not just risking forgetfulness or occasional senior moments. You are risking cognitive decline, depression, accelerated aging, loss of independence, even dementia. And these changes do not happen overnight. They happen slowly, invisibly, until one day, finding the right word, recalling a name, or following a conversation becomes a struggle. I once treated a brilliant man named Dr. Peters. He had been a university professor, a celebrated scholar, known for his sharp wit and towering intellect. But after retiring at 68, something changed. Without the daily challenges of teaching, research, and debate, he withdrew. He spent his days watching television, reading the newspaper without engagement, and reminiscing rather than creating. When he came to see me at 74, he was deeply troubled. Words escaped him. His once razor-sharp mind felt dulled, slow, unfamiliar. His brain, once a vibrant, living thing, had begun to starve from lack of stimulation. And the most heartbreaking part was that it could have been different, because the brain is plastic, capable of growth, renewal, and rewiring at any age, if only we get the nourishment it craves. You are not a prisoner of inevitable mental decline. Modern neuroscience has shown us that the brain retains remarkable plasticity, the ability to form new connections throughout life. But plasticity is not automatic. It must be earned through challenge, curiosity, and engagement. Think of your brain like a dense forest. Every time you learn something new, challenge yourself, or engage deeply with the world, you create fresh pathways, vibrant trails that keep the forest alive and flourishing. Neglect the forest, and it becomes overgrown, stagnant, brittle. Research has proven that seniors who engage in regular mental stimulation delay the onset of dementia by up to 5 years, improve memory and executive function, maintain higher emotional well-being and resilience. Learning, curiosity, creativity, these are not luxuries. They are lifelines. Many seniors unknowingly starve their brains through passive habits, endless television watching, repetitive routines without challenge, isolation from meaningful conversation, reluctance to learn new technologies or ideas. These habits lull the brain into dormancy. Over time, mental flexibility stiffens. New ideas feel harder to grasp. Old memories grow fuzzier. And the most dangerous thing is, it feels so gradual you might not notice until the loss is undeniable. How to nourish your mind every day. The good news is this: it is never too late to begin feeding your mind again. Here are simple, powerful ways to start. Learn something new every week. A musical instrument, a foreign language, painting, coding, anything that stretches your abilities. Challenge your memory daily. Memorize short poems, grocery lists, or important phone numbers without writing them down. Engage in real conversations. Talk about ideas, not just events. Debate, reflect, ask questions. Stay curious about the world. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, and seek out perspectives different from your own. Move your body. Physical exercise directly supports brain health by increasing blood flow and releasing growth factors that stimulate new neural connections. Reduce passive entertainment. Limit mindless scrolling or background TV noise. Choose active engagement instead. Every small act of curiosity and learning is a powerful investment in your brain's vitality. Mrs. LeClaire, one of my most inspiring patients, began this journey at 80 years old. After years of lonely routines and dwindling memory, she decided to change. She started attending weekly history lectures at the local library. She practiced simple French phrases daily. She played memory games with her grandchildren. At first, it was hard. She often joked that her brain felt rusty. But within a year, her mental clarity, her mood, and even her physical energy improved dramatically. Today, at 85, she writes short stories and volunteers as a reading tutor, living proof that it is never too late to reawaken the mind. Caring for your mind is not about avoiding decline. It is about claiming your full humanity, your creativity, your curiosity, your capacity for wonder. It is about refusing to surrender the best parts of yourself simply because society tells you that aging must mean shrinking. You are still growing. You are still capable of discovery, laughter, insight, new beginnings. But you must choose it. Feed your mind daily, and you'll find that life, even now, even here, still holds infinite new joys waiting for you. In the next part of this journey, we will tackle perhaps the most emotionally difficult and most spiritually freeing mistakes seniors make: the dangerous habit of dwelling on regret. Stay with me, because what you learn next could open the door to a peace you may not have felt in years. Number 5, dwelling on regret. How emotional poison ages the body. Of all the silent forces that can erode our health as we age, few are as devastating and as overlooked as regret. Regret is not just an uncomfortable emotion. It is a slow, corrosive poison, one that seeps in the heart, the mind, and even the cells of the body. You cannot see it on a blood test. You will not feel it on a scale. But over time, it weighs heavier than any burden you can carry. When you dwell on regret, replaying past mistakes, mourning missed opportunities, punishing yourself for wrong turns, you do more than harm your peace of mind. You physically damage your body. Research has shown that chronic regret and unresolved emotional pain elevate cortisol, the stress hormone, increase systemic inflammation throughout the body, weaken the immune system, making you more vulnerable to illness, accelerate cognitive decline, raise the risk of heart disease, depression, and even early death. Your body listens to your mind. When your mind is trapped in sorrow, your body cannot fully heal. Dwelling on regret does not just make you unhappy, it literally makes you sicker. I once cared for a man named Mr. Bryant, a retired businessman in his late 70s. From the outside, he appeared healthy, but inside he was trapped, consumed by regrets over decisions he made decades earlier. Missed chances with his children, business deals he wished he had handled differently, words he wished he could take back. Each visit, he recited his regrets like prayers. And each time, he looked a little smaller, a little weaker, a little more defeated. No medication could lift the burden he carried. Because it was not his body that was sick, it was his spirit. It was only when Mr. Bryant began to confront his past differently, learning to forgive himself, choosing to focus on what he could still build rather than what he had lost, that his health finally began to turn. He grew stronger mentally and physically. He reconnected with his children. He started volunteering, finding meaning and joy again. The chains of regret loosened and life returned. Why regret feels so powerful? Regret has such a grip on us because it attaches itself to two powerful illusions. One, that we could have known better. Two, that we could go back and fix it. But the truth is, you did the best you could with the knowledge, experience, and emotional capacity you had at that time. And no amount of self-punishment can change the past. All it can do is steal your present and poison the future that is still waiting for you. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It is not saying that mistakes did not matter. It is not pretending that hurt did not happen. Forgiveness is simply choosing to stop carrying the weight. It is looking at your younger self, flawed, imperfect, struggling, with compassion instead of condemnation. It is recognizing that life is messy, that humans stumble, and that wisdom often comes at a painful price. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, and without it, true healing is impossible. If you find yourself trapped in the endless replay of past mistakes, know that you can begin to free yourself today, one step at a time. Acknowledge the regret honestly. Do not bury it. Bring it into the light. Name it. Write a letter to your past self. Offer compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. Focus on what you can control today. What small action can you take to create healing? A phone call? An apology? A new beginning? Seek help if needed. A counselor, therapist, or trusted mentor can guide you through the complex journey of letting go. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude and regret cannot coexist in the same breath. The more you fill your heart with what is still good and beautiful, the less space regret has to live. I will never forget Mrs. Fernandez, a woman in her 80s who carried the deep regret of having been estranged from her sister for decades. Every day, she told herself it was too late. Too much time had passed. Too much had been said and left unsaid. But one afternoon, after months of encouragement, she picked up the phone and called. The conversation was awkward, trembling, tearful, but it was real, and it led to forgiveness, laughter, shared memories, and new beginnings. They spent the last 3 years of her sister's life closer than they had ever been. Mrs. Fernandez often told me, "I thought regret would be the last chapter of my story. I was wrong. Forgiveness was." You cannot go back and rewrite the first chapters of your life, but you can decide right now how the next chapter will unfold. You can carry regret like a stone around your neck, or you can lay it down and walk forward lighter, freer, wiser. You still have time. You still have choices. You still have the power to create beauty, healing, and meaning. Starting today, do not let regret steal one more moment of your precious life. Choose freedom. Choose forgiveness. Choose to live. As we bring this journey to a close, I want to leave you with one final truth. A truth that could change not just the way you age, but the way you live each day from this moment forward. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is the most important lesson of all. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want to leave you with a truth that lies at the very heart of everything we have talked about today. It is never too late. It is never too late to choose movement over stillness. It is never too late to reach out a hand for connection instead of withdrawing in loneliness. It is never too late to reclaim your right to restful, healing sleep. It is never too late to nourish your mind with curiosity and wonder. It is never too late to forgive yourself and lay down the heavy burden of regret. No matter how many birthdays you have celebrated, no matter how many mistakes you have made, no matter how many years you feel you have lost, today is a new beginning. Aging is inevitable, yes, but decline is not. Too often, society tells us that growing older means fading away, becoming less relevant, shrinking into invisibility. But I am here to tell you, from everything I have witnessed as a doctor, a teacher, and a fellow traveler in life, that aging can also mean rising into your fullest self. It can mean becoming wiser, stronger, braver. It can mean embracing your life with a richness and gratitude that only experience can bring. It can mean finally living not out of fear or duty, but out of joy and authenticity. Your life is not measured by how many years you have lived. It is measured by how much love you give, how deeply you engage with each moment, how fiercely you refuse to give up on yourself. You do not need to transform your life overnight. You do not need to climb mountains or chase impossible goals. The greatest transformations often begin with the smallest steps. A 10-minute walk each morning, a phone call to an old friend, turning off the television a little earlier to prioritize sleep, picking up a book that stretches your mind, whispering to yourself, "I forgive you," and meaning it. One step becomes two. Two steps become a habit. Habits become a new way of living. And a new life unfolds, stronger, lighter, more radiant than you dared to imagine. You do not need anyone's permission to begin. You do not need to wait for perfect circumstances or a perfect plan. Everything you need to live better, to live braver, healthier, freer, is already within you. It is the courage to choose differently, the hope to believe that change is still possible, the love, both for yourself and others, that drives every act of healing. You have carried heavy burdens for long enough. Now it is time to lay them down, to walk forward with open hands and an open heart. You deserve that. You have always deserved that. The story of your life is still being written, and though you cannot change the first chapters, you hold the pen for the pages yet to come. Will those pages be filled with resilience, hope, new connections, laughter, and forgiveness? Or will they echo with the heavy silence of regret and resignation? The choice is yours. And no matter what yesterday looked like, today, this very moment, can be the first page of a new, extraordinary chapter. If today's message resonated with you, I invite you to take action. Like this video if you believe it is never too late to live better. Subscribe to this channel to continue receiving life-changing lessons that empower your health and your happiness. Share this video with someone you love, someone who may need a gentle reminder that their best days are still ahead. And please leave a comment below. Tell me, what small step are you committing to take today to honor your health, your mind, and your heart? Your story matters. Your voice matters. And together, we can build a community where aging is not something to fear, but something to celebrate. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. Thank you for believing, even a little, that the best is yet to come. Until we meet again, keep moving forward, keep loving boldly, and keep living deeply. The next chapter is waiting for you, and it is going to be beautiful.